guys, my name is Jessica and welcome to Makeup.misfit. So before I get into this update, I did notice that last month I kind of mixed this up a little bit with Beauty Chest, and I don't know why. I think I said that I had to have 4 prompts going in this one. You don't. That's for Beauty Chest. You do need anywhere between 3 and 5. And even though I was talking about having 4 prompts, I still had 1 product in here last month, but I decided to roll in 4 brand new ones. So I am actually working on 5 products right now, but that's fine. I'm going to leave it at that. It still worked out perfectly fine. So I have 5 products to talk to you guys about today, and I am really excited about this update. I think it is pretty good. So let's just get on into the products that I have been working on. Now, the one product that I had rolled over into last month's update was the Garden. So that was your prettiest product. So whether that was color story, packaging, the way it looked, however you interpreted that, that's up to you. I was working on my Milk Makeup Highlighter, and this is in the shade Lit. Now, my goal for this was to use it 23 times. And even though I've said multiple times before that tracking usages is not really my thing, I know I've used it a minimum of the 23 times plus some, because I'm sure there's been times I have used it and forgot to track, and that's usually how it happens. So anytime I do have a usage goal and I finally meet it, that's just like the bare minimum of what I've actually used it, and I know I've used it more than that. So like I said, that does mean that I have reached for this the minimum 23 times, which is really exciting. I do get to roll this out, but what's even more exciting, and don't mind the powdery mess on this, but I also managed to hit pan, which was like crazy cool. I was thinking about it a little bit, but I didn't like try to focus to hit pan, except for that is really where like my brush would hit just all of the time. And out of like my tracked usages, I want to say it was maybe like use 19, 20, 18, somewhere around there. I did manage to hit a tiny little pan, and then this is just the expansion for a few more uses after that. And actually, no, I thought this piece right here was another tiny little pan, but it's not. It's just this one. So that's really exciting. I not only reached my goal for using this however many times I wanted to, but I also have hit pan, and now it's just a matter of expanding that pan over time and maybe one day finishing this up. You never know, but I'm really happy that, you know, I've met my goal. I get to roll this out. There's a bonus pan in here, which is super cool. So this time she's done. So then last month, like I said, I rolled in 4 brand new prompts. Don't ask me. But one of those prompts that I rolled in was the playing card. So that's a product that you have to use 52 times. Again, for somebody who doesn't do well with tracking, I don't know what I was thinking, but that's okay. So for 52 times, I rolled in the mini NARS blush in Deep Throat. Now, last month, I had a good pan going on in here. That pan was expanding. It was beautiful. And unfortunately, I had a little pile of makeup that I was using. And instead of like taking the products off of the pile, I just went to go reach for what I wanted. And this, because it's so small, was hidden in there, and it knocked it, fell off my counter and onto my floor. So only a little bit of it crumbled, thankfully. Like it did break apart, so I did have to repress it, but like I didn't lose a lot of it, which is the main thing. So unfortunately, that little bit of pan that I had is now gone. I did have to repress it, but this is where we are at right now. So this little pan here has come back. This is where it was before, except it was a little bit much larger than that. And I actually have another little pan over there, which is super exciting. Now I have lost my tracking sheet, so I don't know where I put it, but I do think I'm at about 21, 22 uses on the marked tracks for this blush. So there's a chance that I'm working on more than that, but 21, 22 tracked usages is what I have. So I do have, 30 more to go. If I use this every single day, which I probably more than likely will, that's what I've been doing for the most part, is reaching for this as much as possible. So there is a very good chance, or there is a chance I could get this out for January's update. If not, it'll be out in February. And I'm really excited to see what it's going to look like at the 52 use mark. I would have preferred to see what it would have looked like, you know, prior to me having to repress it because it broke apart. I was wanting to see that pan expand, but now that I have too many pans in here anyways, I'm excited to see those expand and see where I end up and what she's gonna look like at 52 uses. So that one is staying in the project. I also had rolled in Tweedledee and Tweedledum, which is a dupe product. Now, I was going through my collection and sorry, and I don't really have like actual dupe products, like clear dupe products. I probably have something in there that I'm not aware of that's like a formula dupe or a color dupe or something along those lines. But I was also kind of running out of time last month, so I didn't really have a whole lot of opportunity to sit down and research things. But what I did have was a palette that a dupe had been created from. And that palette is my Natasha Denona Retro palette. So I figured I'm just going to, you know, roll with it, my project, whatever. There is a dupe from Alter Ego for this palette. It's the original, but that's okay. So my goal for this palette was to use this no pan left behind. I wanted to just reach for every shade in here one time. I did that, but there's definitely shades in here that I have reached for more than that. I really like this palette. The color story is beautiful. This is pretty much what I've been wearing on a very regular basis the last few days. Today I'm wearing something different because I'm trying to figure out if I want to put a certain eyeshadow into a project next year. So I decided to test it out and see how I feel about it. So I'm not wearing this today, but I just really liked dipping into this so much. Yeah, even a couple of the darker shades, I actually managed, you know, even if it was just once, to just throw it very lightly in the outer corner and kind of blend it out. As long as I used it in the capacity, it didn't really matter. As long as I dipped, that's all that counted. But this is what she's looking like. I don't know if you guys can see it. Mind you, this palette had like very little use prior to rolling it into this project. I don't remember if it had absolutely no use, but it was like very, 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 very minimal. I hit pan in the shade Andy. Like, I love, that was like my favorite shade. That was the first shade that I used in the palette after last month's update, and I paired it with this one right here called Glitz, and I fell in love with the combination. And I was like reaching for Andy a couple more times, and I'm like, okay, no, I need to like continue to pull the rest of the shades from this palette because that's the point of this goal. I really did enjoy, yeah, this one right here called Go Go. This little trio was beautiful. I liked pairing this with that as well. But once I had finally hit pan, I had finally used every single shade one time, I kept dipping back into Andy. And let me tell you, like, it's a lot more powdery than I was expecting. I know with my Natasha Denona pastel palette, I had used a pencil brush a lot of the time in most of those shades. I used it in my inner corner, and I figured that maybe that was why I had hit pan so easily in some of those shades. This, I didn't use one of those at all. It was just like a flat brush, and I just put it all over the lid. I only really dipped into it like once per lid, and I managed to hit pan in that just the other day, and I was like, I love it. Like, that is a shade that I would love to use up. I definitely think I'm going to go back to that Krypton website, I believe, and like purchase a couple more of their magnetic, like their acrylic magnetic palettes that I have my eyeshadow singles in, because I think I would really like, I had mentioned it in my Pen That Palette in Order update or finale, that there's a few shades in there I would like to kind of like create a little color story with, and I definitely want to pull Andy and do that. And like even this shade here, I think it's Psychedelic. Yeah, Psychedelic, I really loved pairing with it as well. Glitz, I loved pairing with it. I was not expecting to hit pan as soon as I did, but I definitely did. And considering it, I had only pulled this in last month and I had already hit pan in it, and that was definitely not a shade that I used every day. Under 30 uses, probably even under 20 uses, like, but if I'm comparing this to the pastel palette, it kind of makes sense. Like, I was hitting pan in a lot of those shades rather quickly, but again, I thought it was the brush that I was using, and this was just a flat shader brush. yeah, I don't know. I'm really, I'm really happy. I'm really excited. I do get to roll this out, which is also really fun and exciting. But the fact that I hit pan in there and I just like fell in love with the palette even that much more. Like I loved the color story. That's why I first bought it. But actually using it and dipping into the shades and, you know, repeating shades, I actually really do enjoy that palette so much. So I am happy. And it's definitely a palette that I'm going to continue to use in the future. That's not gonna be the end of that one. All right, let's move on. I also pulled the Drink Me, which is the shrinking potion. So this is a mini or a travel size. And I decided to pull in the Becca Moonlight Highlighter. I have not used this even once. This is still untouched, brand new. That's okay. I'm not worried about it because I realized that I had pulled in a ton of highlighter and I was like, you know what? I need to focus on things. So I focused on my Milk Makeup highlighter. That's what I wanted to get out first. And then the next product that I'm going to talk about right now, which was for Follow the White Rabbit. So a product that you purchased because of the hype or it was on trend, was my MAC Skin Finish in Double Gleam. My goal for this is to hit pan. My goal for Moonstone is just to create like a really good, decent dip. I don't want to hit pan in it yet, but I do want to hit pan in Double Gleam here. So this is what I'm currently focusing on. As soon as I had finished off with my uses on the Milk Makeup highlighter, I switched to this. Now, I'm not tracking uses. This is what it looks like so far. There was definitely some usage showing already when I pulled this in last month. But I did have a comment on that video that it took somebody 300 uses and they still did not hit pan. So I'm crossing my fingers that it does not take me that long, but I have no idea. Like the usage is definitely quite large. Like I think you can kind of see like the hole from about here all the way down and around. Like it is quite a large area. But I have no idea how deep these are or anything like that. So this might be in here for a little while, which means that this is probably also going to be in here for a little while because I don't think I'm going to reach for this until I actually have my goal. Unless something just like sparks interest and I really want to for some reason, then sure, I'll obviously allow myself. But this is what I'm really focusing on. And I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon, but you never know. You never know. Things surprise you sometimes. So that's what I've been working on. I am officially rolling out 2 products. I am back down to the 3 that I was usually, you know, working on, but I am going to roll in 2 more. I will just keep it at 5. Might as well. Why not? Get through as many prompts as I can. So I have notebooks all over the place right now because I'm trying to clean up this room a little bit. I want to eventually paint it and kind of do some stuff with it in the new year. So I am just going to be looking at the description box to figure out the prompts that I'm working on. So I have 23 prompts in here. So we are just going to randomize 1 through 23. We are getting a little bit more re-rolls because, you know, you're rolling in the prompts that you've already used. I've already rolled out quite a few. So if I can find my, here we go. All right, so 1 through 23, and I'm rolling in 2. So let's see what we end up getting. So 21, which is Wake Up, Alice, Wake Up, a product you wish you didn't own or regret purchasing. And I had already had that one in here, so we're going to go again. Number 9 is Tweedledee and Tweedledum, which I just rolled out, which was the retro palette, so we're going to roll again. Number 7 is, okay, the Cheshire Cat. So a product that you had to wait for it to come back into stock before you could purchase it. Okay. So I'm gonna have to look through my collection. I do have something coming to me for Christmas that I had to wait for it to come back into stock before we could repurchase, but obviously that's not here yet. It's actually the day you're seeing this is Christmas Day. Merry Christmas. I don't know when I'll be getting that gift, but probably not today, but Merry Christmas. Okay, back to re-rolling. My goodness. Number 6. It's Only a Dream, limited edition or something discontinued. I have already had that in here. Number 14, the Mad Hatter, a product that you forgot you had. Okay, I'm able to use that one because I have not had that prompt yet. So I'm gonna go find the 2 products that I'm going to be pulling in. So that is something that I had to wait to come back into stock to purchase, and something that I forgot I had. So I will be right back. Okay, that was a little bit harder than I was expecting. So the product that I forgot I had, what was that one again? The Mad Hatter. That was actually easy. That right here, this right here. It's an e.l.f. lip stick in natural, and it's just like one of those roll up. I don't even know if they sell this anymore. That's all that I have left. I want to finish this. I had this in a box of makeup that I had with me at work in my old office, and because it was at work, like I only ever saw it when I was there, which was mind you all the time, but I'd always like forget that I had it when I was at home. And then I had pulled it like when I was leaving my office to go to my new area. I had brought it home, kept all that makeup in the box, and I went through it not that long ago, and I was like, oh yeah, I completely forgot about this. So I do want to use this up. You guys saw there's not very much, so hopefully it'll take a couple of months, and hopefully it'll be out by springtime, maybe. I don't know, just throwing a rough guess on there, but I would like to get this out. I have had this for a very long time, and I think it's time to completely finish it and then get rid of it. So yeah, I'm really excited to pull this one in. But the part that was really hard was to try and look back and figure out, what did I have to actually wait to have something come back into stock before I could purchase it. And I was going through my collection, and I was like, I honestly, I'm sure there's items, like I just can't think off the top of my head what those might be. And then, sorry. Then I remembered that I have a couple blushes from Cover FX that they were no longer being sold on Beautylish. So I ended up finding them at Winners, and I'm considering that to them coming back into stock because they were unavailable to me, and then they were available to me. So that works. So the one that I'm going to pull in, I was actually going to pull in Pink Dahlia, but I was like, you know what? I'm working on the NARS Orgasm one. You guys have already seen my Pan That Face palette intro. So I'm working on all of those blushes. So instead of pulling in another pink, I'm going to pull in Soft Peach. Now, this is very crumbly. I did just kind of get rid of the crumbs, but the matte shade in here, because there's a matte and a shimmer duo, it's very crumbly. It breaks apart a lot. But this is what it's looking like. And I noticed that my Pink Dahlia one hasn't even been touched. But I want to reach for this one just because of, like, you can see how crumbly it has been. And even in this little corner here. But I actually really did like wearing the shimmer with the matte. I would wear it as a duo all the time. So I'm going to continue to do that. But I just want to throw like an easy goal on here of like 10 uses. I think that'll be fine. I can probably get that out in a couple of months and move on. I just want to show it a little bit more love. It's definitely been a while since I've used it. I had it in a project at some point, and I think that's the last time I have reached for this. So we are going to throw a 10 use goal. Me and my usages that I can't track. And we are going to get this rolled out within a few months. And then we are going to focus on this and also try and get this out within a few months and completely finish this one off. So that is the update. It was very chaotic, I feel. So I apologize. Again, Merry Christmas. I don't know what I think it's because it doesn't feel like Christmas. At least for me, it just does not feel like Christmas right now. I am filming this on the 22nd. This is going up on the 25th, obviously. And the only other day I have to film this might be tomorrow, the 23rd. The 24th, I work for 12 hours, so I have no chance to do that then. So, and then it's Christmas. So, I might also film Beauty Chest today, which doesn't go up until the 27th. So it is a little bit early. I don't know. I have no idea what's going to be happening on the 26th. So it's just a crazy time. But I mean, it is what it is. I hope you guys have had and are enjoying your Christmas or will enjoy your Christmas since this is going up at 8 a.m. the morning of. Let me know down below what you got for Christmas because I'm curious. And yeah, that is my update for Alice in Wonderland. So again, sorry this was so chaotic and all over the place, but you know, it is what it is this time. So that is it. That is all. Merry Christmas. I hope you guys have a wonderful day today, and I will see you guys all later. Bye.